All right. We made it in here. We're live. Whoo. Boy, am I sweaty. Is that too much? Probably. All right, let's get in here. Let's go. All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Monday Night Live on the Dirt Track Untold YouTube and Facebook channels. I'm your host, Jordon Cox. Welcome in. Sorry if I look a little sweaty and distraught. Had to make this happen quick. Had to shower because I smell. But welcome in. Sorry. Just kind of moving and grooving here. Get on in here. Say hi in the chat, whether you're on YouTube or on Facebook. Let me know that you're here. Let me know what's going on and how you're doing while I get my life together over here. But welcome in. We got a little bit of racing to talk about with our Dirt Track Untold team and the drivers, and how their weekends were. They were okay. But we got a little bit of racing to talk about. And then the week coming up here, we've got Super Dirt Week is here and happening. We got some racing in New York, all over the place. So we got all that to talk about. But let's get some things moving here. Let me get this. Connect that. Connect 4. All right. Well, Corey, you said it, man. Happy Super Dirt Week. I feel like my face cam is kind of messed up here. Guys, just give me a second here. That didn't do it. We're going to leave it. We're going to roll with it. But Corey, happy Super Dirt Week. Jeremy, hello. Hey, Eli, what's up, buddy? Over on YouTube. Look at you, bud. Dave, how we doing? Let's see what's going on Facebook. Guys, all right, so I'll let the YouTube team over here know. I got a question going right off the bat. Pinned question for everyone in the Facebook chat. What is the best racing movie of all time? So join in on the conversation on YouTube as well. What is the best racing movie of all time? We already have a couple of commenters over here. We got Days of Thunder or Talladega Nights. Grease Lightning. Dennis coming in with Grease Lightning. So Donovan saying Days of Thunder or Talladega Nights. Dennis with Grease Lightning. Ed, Days of Thunder with a bunch of exclamation points. Don, what's up? How you doing? Keith, you were at Williams Grove. I'm good. How you doing? Ed's checking in from Melbourne, Florida, saying go Phillies. Well, that's all right. I'll accept that. But how we doing, guys? Don't forget to say hey and let me know you're here. Like it, comment. Eli's even going with Days of Thunder. Eli, have you even seen Days of Thunder? We're gonna talk about this tomorrow, bud. You'll be questioned. There'll be a quiz. But what got me thinking about this was I saw on it might have been on Instagram Reels or it was on TikTok, one of the two. But a clip popped up from a movie that I haven't seen in years, Driven, which was like the IndyCar. It was IndyCar or kart. I'm not really sure what it was back in the 2000s. I think it was in the 2000s that movie was made, with Sylvester Stallone and those guys. Like, I remember watching that movie and being like, "This is the greatest thing ever." I was young. Don't judge me. But honestly, there was some stuff in it that I was like, "Oh, this was pretty cool." I forgot all about this movie, and it got me thinking. what's everybody think? What does everybody else think might be the greatest racing movie of all time? Obviously, we've got Days of Thunder is a big one. But there's been a lot recently. I mean, I've already seen over here. Somebody just said one of the ones I was thinking of as well, Ford versus Ferrari, Racing Mind coming in with Ford versus Ferrari. As a former team manager, I recognize all the characters there, but there you go. But there was why am I so Driven was obviously one I was thinking of from back in the day. Why can't I think of it now? Rush was a big one as well, from the 70s, the F1 movie. But yeah, and Keith coming in with Stroker Ace, that's a classic. Kind of like Days of Thunder, just a classic. But yeah, as we go along here, comment in. When you come in and you see the comment, drop one in here. Drop one in. I had a feeling we would see a lot of Days of Thunder. I figured maybe a few Talladega Nights. And then I was hoping we would see some of the stuff from recently. Like I said, Ford versus Ferrari. Rush was a great one. What else we got over here on YouTube? You said you saw it once, Eli. Okay, hey, listen, that counts. That counts. But there will be a quiz tomorrow. I'm gonna. But yeah, we got Days of Thunder. Eli with the Days of Thunder on there too. Le Mans. Okay, Le Mans is a great movie. Okay. Need for Speed movie. Okay. All right. Trading. Oh, JR, you're coming in here. Trading Paint, 6-pack. Trading Paint, 6-pack. All right. Raymond saying the Big Wheel star Mickey Rooney. Is it the Big Wheel starring Mickey Rooney? 1957, all about sprint cars and midgets. Okay, all right. Wally, thanks for watching on both. I appreciate you. Alabama Dirt, okay. Drop them in here. Let's see what you got. All right. Well, while the debate goes on, sorry, my voice is still all messed up. We'll get into our dirt track untold drivers and how their week went or didn't. Went? No, that doesn't make sense. We had Billy over at Bridgeport for the Danny Serrano 60, the Danny Serrano weekend over at Bridgeport Motorsports Park. We had Mike up at Fulton for the Fulton 200 or the Outlaw 200. I'm not really sure what they call it. Back in the day, it was the Victoria 200. We got everything. But he was up there at Fulton for that. We'll just start with Mike. I don't know why I said Billy first. I don't know why I'm going with Mike. Both of them had kind of rough endings to their respective features. But we'll start with Michael. It was MJ's first time at the racetrack. So Mandee, Mike, and MJ all at the racetrack together. So that was pretty cool for the three of them, hanging out at the racetrack with all the family up north there. So that was pretty cool to see. Then we had Mike running at Fulton. Had a tough heat race. I actually sent him a text and said, listen, I wanted to tell him that I would have just punted the guy in front of him. But he had second place pretty much. They were taking the top two to the dash and all that. And I think top three got a redraw spot or something like that. Mike ended up fourth in the heat, but he ran behind the guy in second for the entire race. Tried getting underneath him, tried going around him. The guy deserved to get punted out of the way. So I commend Mike for having the patience to try to drive around the guy. I'd sit here and say, I would have punted him. I probably would have done the same thing. I would have just been trying my damnedest to drive around the guy. But he had a hard time because as soon as he moved to the top, the next car in line drove underneath him, and the three of them were just kind of battling back and forth. But anyway, Mike ended up finishing fourth, which put him in the show, but he ended up starting in the 20s. I think it was 20th or 21st, something like that. So he had to start deep, which for 200 laps he didn't seem too concerned about. Drove his way to the front. Was running about 7th, I believe, after the halfway break. Was the only one that seemed to be on the top of the racetrack, and unfortunately got tangled up with a lap car as he was going around him. Listen, it's just a racing deal. It happens. Lap cars get in the way. It's a shame, but it ended up kind of shoving him into the wall, gave him a left rear flat. They came in, changed the tire, went back out. He ended up finishing 12th. And that was it. It was a shame because he had a really good car, had a great line going on the outside as well, was pretty much the only one out there, was chasing down the guys in front of him, and was going to make a good showing of it. Had a really fast race car, and unfortunately just ended up getting fenced, as I think it was put in the video, and ended up finishing 12th. But so I know it was a disappointing night, disappointing overall. To finish out their weekend for the 200. I know the Team 35 guys were looking for something better, but sometimes it just doesn't work out, especially with some lap cars getting in the way. So Mike ended up 12th at Fulton. Billy had a Saturday night race at Bridgeport for the Danny Serrano race at Bridgeport for the modifieds. Had a decent run in the heat race. And I think he started, where did he end up starting? He started 5th or 6th, I believe, in the feature. Was running top 10. Was kind of back and forth with a couple guys. Looked like, they looked like he struggled a little bit at the beginning of the race. Just trying to get around. Some guys were pretty aggressive around him. He had a restart. There was a little bit of controversy with that restart, with some guys getting together, which ended up kind of getting into Billy and getting him involved. There were some hand gestures back and forth on the racetrack from Billy to said driver. Some things between those guys, not including Billy, but Billy got himself involved. Between it was Cale Ross and Ryan Godown. There were some words exchanged. It looked like some guys got into a bit of a dust up in pit road as well. Billy shared his opinion with those guys. Not so much Cale, but Ryan. And listen, you can watch the replay. It's on. I'm not going to show it here. You can watch the replay. It's on the vlog. Both vlogs for Fulton and Bridgeport are up. They were posted yesterday. So after this, you can go back and watch those. In the Bridgeport video, I mean, it's right there. They slow it down. They show it. Honestly, for me, it's tough to just really, like I said, I'm not giving an opinion. I'm just telling you what happened in the video. There was contact between, looked like there was contact between Ryan and Cale drove into the side of Billy, which almost fenced Billy. It's like I said, I don't know if, to me, it didn't look like, honestly, I'm being honest, it didn't look like to me that Ryan did anything super aggressive to cause that, but the video is a little bit behind where I think the contact started, if I remember, and it's really tough to see. All you really kind of see is Cale get sideways into Billy. And honestly, and in that scenario, there's really no other way that he should be getting sideways other than maybe some contact from behind. So I don't know what the word is from the go down camp or really Cale Ross's side of it as well. I mean, it seems like Cale was pretty unhappy with Ryan. I mean, Ryan ended up kind of spinning out on his own later and involving Cale in that as well. Listen, it was just kind of an unfortunate situation, which all three of them ended up voicing their opinions to each other. And I mean, hopefully everyone's allowed back at the racetrack in the future. I don't think anything really bad happened after that. Hopefully it's just words. But I mean, you can maybe try to chalk it up as a racing deal, but honestly, it looked like, maybe Ryan was being a little too aggressive on the restart and got into the back of Cale and just didn't get off of him. That's the way it kind of looks. There was no intent of trying to wreck anybody, but you have to, you got to clean that stuff up. That's all. And I mean, it's a shame because I'm not going to say anything else. I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to say anything else. But eventually, Billy tried to keep going. He was still running in the top 10 afterwards, but ended up having some motor issues. And he ended up pulling off because it was spitting and sputtering. So ended up pulling off and finishing. I don't really even know what the official finish was. 16th. So he ended up 16th in the official rundown. So it's a shame when guys just gotta like I said, when a lot of things are happening with the same people, it sucks because nobody wants to sit here and point fingers at guys and constantly be in. I mean, at least for me, I don't want to constantly be, talking about or seeing the same kind of things happen with the same driver, especially when it's with this guy. And I know all three of these guys pretty well. I know Ryan, obviously I know Billy, and I know Cale a little bit. And it's a shame. You don't want to see these guys, getting into this kind of stuff over somebody just being a little too aggressive on a restart. And when it's stuff that keeps kind of happening to you and the same guys involved, I understand Billy's frustration. It's like, well, listen, man, this is all still happening. I'm still getting, the bad end of the deal every time. And it sucks. It sucks to see happen. I don't want to sit here and I'm not bashing anybody. Again, here I am trying to explain that I'm not bashing anybody. Just explaining my view of it. Just some guys need to just take the aggression down a notch. That's it. And then the three of those guys don't have any problems. That's it. And again, I said it last 2 weeks ago after the Sixer. I have no problem saying this stuff to anybody's face if they want to. Like, listen, just take the aggression down a little bit. That's all. That's all anybody's asking for. Just tone it back a little bit. But that's how guys have to race these days. It's something I've experienced myself. You have to be super aggressive the way these cars are now, and especially the way Bridgeport races. It's the same kind of way that Grandview races. You have to be super aggressive to make any kind of headway. So I understand that, but when you can potentially really wad up some race cars, it's not good. Anybody getting right hooked in that kind of situation in that spot on the racetrack, that front clip's gone because they're going head on to the wall. That front clip of that car's gone. And that's the stuff that you don't want to see. So that's Mike and Billy's weekends at Fulton and Bridgeport. The only other thing I kind of want to mention, and this isn't me saying, I'm not saying anything bad. It's a shame to see a big race on a modified track and only 21 cars show up. So that's a shame. I was really hoping to see a lot of names going to Bridgeport for a race for Danny Serrano. I mean, if I had a race car, I probably would have been there myself. Running the crates or something like that. So I guess I can't say much, but I don't have a car to go. But it sucks to see only 20 or 21 cars show up for a show like that. So hopefully things kind of get figured out at Bridgeport to where guys want to go there again. Just hopefully hoping for the best. And it sounds like, they're definitely trying to get everything, trying to get things figured out over there. So fingers crossed that it happens. Racing Mind, you said over here. Yeah, the brawl in the pits was sad to watch at the end of the... Yeah, at the end of the video. It's yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame to see that they get to it. Didn't even and it looked like it was pit guys. It looked like it was the crew guys. I'm pretty sure I saw Ryan still off to the side, Cale was still off to the side. It didn't even involve the drivers, and that's usually where people have to kind of just. That's where it needs to get separated. Crew guys, believe me, I understand. I've had to be a crew guy a lot, and you get frustrated, and you get pissed. Listen, I'm one that's climbed into a car to tell a guy where I think he belongs, and had to be pulled out by security. So I'm not one to really talk, but that's when it's that's where it's a shame. Yeah. After the contact, he developed a vibration. Yeah, it was motor problems. It sounds like they already got it figured out. Something, I think it was crank sensor, he said. Something with the crank sensor or something like that. I honestly can't remember now. Same here at Canandaigua. Yeah, it's listen, guys, just race aggressive. It is what it is. I mean, it makes everyone, when you idolize guys that are that are aggressive and dangerous, and do crazy stuff, that's how everybody's going to race. Because it gets results. Just the way it happens. Someone got punched in the face? Yeah. I recognize that last name. I'm sure you were probably right there standing next to it, weren't you? Tyler. Mike Bent, how about that 81? Huh? Yeah, Billy ran good. I guess I should just go ahead and say the result. There's only really 2 races that. So we had Fulton, Bridgeport right here. So congrats to Neil the Wheel Williams for picking up the win in that race at the Danny Serrano 60. So congrats to Neil. Billy Osmond second. So great for you guys at the 81 car there. And Danny Buck was third. So congrats to the top 3 there, Neil, Billy, and Danny. Especially Neil. Good to see Neil get a win. Been a long time since I've seen Neil, and good to see that he's still racing at a pretty high level there at Bridgeport. And then at Fulton, Matt Williamson was the winner of the Outlaw 200 at Fulton. Larry White was second. Ronnie Davis the third was third. And Mike ended up 12th. I did say that. So, but yeah, good to see Billy get a second there, Mike. That was pretty neat. So that's your Dirt Track Untold driver roundup there. So we're going to talk about it here. We got Oswego Super Dirt Week coming up. And that's where I'll put the schedule up for what's coming up for the drivers on the team here. So we got Mike Oswego. He's just there Wednesday through Saturday or Sunday. Saturday. And then you got Billy up at I-88 Afton. So we got those shows going on for Billy and Mike. So Mike doing the 358 and the big block stuff at Oswego. Oops. So there you go. There's your schedule for the guys. It's pretty simple. Mike's going to be up here and Billy's going to be over here. New York. And that kind of just leads us into... So I'll leave the schedule up there for you guys to take a look at it for a minute here. So yeah, we got so what else you got over here, Mike? What are you saying? A lot of good hard-nosed racing with a few exceptions, as you've already noted. That's it, Mike. That's it. Looked like everything else in the future was good. It just, a couple little dust, one little dust up. Big blocks are getting pretty. What do you got? What do you got here? Comments. Tyler, I don't go anymore because of that type of environment. Listen, it's not like that all the time, Tyler. It's really not. It's really not like that all the time. Just Some guys, it gets heated every once in a while. You should still go. George says the big blocks are getting pretty pricey to run and depends on the promoter's purse. That's it. We are a little, it's, it does suck a little bit when it comes to the price to go modified racing these days and be competitive. But honestly, it's starting to kind of trickle down into sportsman crate racing. Figures everyone kind of switches to just running crates as a sportsman division, and now all of a sudden the price is going up. And that's a shame too. But that's also kind of with the times. Everything's just getting more expensive. Listen, I remember I bought my first crate motor. Well, I bought my only crate motor that I ever owned for $3,500. Now I'm seeing them for sale. Now you try to buy one because now you have to buy them through Trax or whatever organization is running the show. It's like $8,500, $9,000. I mean, you're talking almost triple the price. It's ridiculous. So how is somebody? And I mean, listen, we can get into just the talk of the times and how that's all in, how that's affecting everything as well. But it sucks. Yeah, don't even get me started on the price of a big block. Whew. All right, there's your schedule. Let's see. But yeah. Yeah, and the purses haven't really changed, The price is going up. Purses haven't changed. I wish I was going to Oswego too. Yeah, no Billy at Oswego. Yeah, it's just wasn't in the cards this year, I guess. Yeah, I looked at that too, Wally, with the Evergreen Raceway stuff because Bobby Butler went up there and raced. That's tough. A lot of those guys don't really want to do asphalt racing, so it's not really that fun. Jessica, hi, how you doing? But yeah, Billy at least will be racing. He'll be running the Breitenstein 14 car at Afton. If you're going to be at Afton on Friday, I will be there with Mike Butler. Mike decided last minute that we're going to go to New York. So we're going to take a 3-hour ride up to Afton on Friday and run the Crate Sportsman race at Afton. So actually, let me go ahead and put that up there. So Short Track Super Nationals, the Super Short Track Super Series event. Let me make that a little bit bigger for everybody. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, 1,500 to win for 25 laps for the crates on Friday. So we'll be there for that. Mr. Butler has ants in his pants, wants to go racing, so we're going to go do that. It was not in the plan, but we're going to do it. So it'll be a late Friday for us, but we'll be up there. And then Saturday night, they have the modifieds. It's just practice, I think, Friday for the modifieds. But Saturday, the modifieds will be racing for $4,000 to win there. So you'll see Billy running the Breitenstein car up there for that. So there you go. There's your racing on that side of it. Then put that up there because it's funny. Then drive another hour to Oswego after Afton. Can't. Steven, you are Dirt Week bound tomorrow. Awesome. Great to hear. Happy to hear it. That's good stuff. Yeah, I'm jealous of everyone. One of these years, we'll maybe my wife and I will get up there to Super Dirt Week. We unfortunately never got to do one while I was in Syracuse. That would have been pretty cool. Maybe one of these years we'll go up to Oswego and do Super Dirt Week. But for right now, just be me and Mike going to Afton on Friday. Do some crate stuff. But you got that. Yes, Vicky. Yep. Congrats to Kelly winning the 4-cylinder race at Bridgeport on Friday. Congrats to Kelly Fleming. Sleepy Hollow, the only Sleepy Hollow driver still running. That's a direct jab at Corey. Quitter. But congrats to Kelly. Good run. And then she ran, what, 5th on Saturday? So, good weekend. Selinsgrove Raceway, or Selinsgrove Speedway, is racing the 410 sprints for the Kramer Cup. That's Friday night as well. Awesome. Good stuff. That's for Kramer Williamson, I believe. Dave, you'll be in the Mahaney pit all dirt week. Perfect. I'm sure they're happy to have you over there. Good stuff. Keep them in line. Especially that Jim. Gotta keep Jim in line over there. So there's that. So yeah, we're sitting here talking about Super Dirt Week at Oswego. Yeah, you'll have Mike running the small block and the big block stuff at Super Dirt Week all week long. You can find all that stuff. You can find everything on Dirt Vision for that. I believe we were just talking about Afton. That's Short Track Super Series, so you should be able to find that on Flow. I think I even said it in the graphic. Let me put that back over top of that. Yep, Flow Racing. So you'll be able to find that on Flow, Super Dirt Week, Dirt Vision. So I'll be watching. I'll just be watching the stuff on all the I don't know if I might do all. I don't know. I'll have to check out. Let's see what the packages are, and check all that stuff out. Maybe we'll see what we can do there. What else did I have for you guys? Put the Patreon thing up there. If you guys are looking for more behind-the-scenes access for the Dirt Track Untold team, here's the QR code for the Patreon. You can join Club DTU. I'll leave that up on the screen so you guys can take a look at that. For behind-the-scenes access, early access to merch, and all that stuff. All the cool stuff. Let's see. I see you here, Joe. Joe asked, of course, that goes over to QR code. Move that aside. Haven't seen Wade Hendrickson race in a while. Did he retire? I'm going to say no, that he didn't retire. I don't think any race car driver really retires, but I understand. As far as I know, Wade made a few starts, ran a few races earlier this year and over the summer. He's had some injuries on and off. So from what I understand, he's nursed a few injuries. He's had weddings and stuff going on as well. I think Wade's just been busy outside of racing. So that's why you've seen like Johnny Mack ran Michael's brother's car this past stuff for the All-Star Cup. They've had a few other drivers hop in. He was running the Rio brothers car, the R10, a few times. I think he just wasn't really focused on doing points stuff this year, from what I understand. He had a lot of other things going on over this year. So I think he was just kind of taking a break. Or not taking a break, I shouldn't say that. He just wasn't super focused on, making points and showing up every week. But Wade's definitely still around and can definitely still get it done. So I'm sure we'll maybe see more of him next year, but I don't know for sure. Wish I was going to Oswego for Super Dirt Week as well, but I can't afford to go. Haven't been since '97 when I went, and my aunt's boyfriend in the push trucks. Nice. That was probably a pretty cool experience, just being at Syracuse. It's one of those stories that say, all right, Mark answered the question over on Facebook. Guys, if you're on YouTube and you didn't hear me at the beginning of the show, I have a pinned comment over on the Facebook chat of what do you think is the best racing movie of all time? And Mark just answered Six Pack. So Mark, got you in for Six Pack. I don't think Six Pack. I think somebody mentioned that earlier in one of the chats. I should have done a poll. That would have been the smart thing to do. So we could have seen what everybody voted for. But saw a lot of Days of Thunder. Saw Driven. Driven's kind of what brought this up, honestly, because I saw a clip of Driven earlier, and it made me think, man, that's one I forgot about. But I saw Ford versus Ferrari not that long ago. Great movie. Rush, another great one. Those are kind of my tops when it comes to the racing movie world. But let's see here. We got where everybody's going this weekend. It seems like, listen, if you're going to be going to Super Dirt Week, let me know in the comments here. Let's see. Short Track Super Series. You got the USAC National Sprints at Lawrenceburg coming up this weekend as well. Jonathan Davenport was the winner at the Pittsburgher. That's a great name. At Pennsylvania Motor Speedway this past weekend. 10 grand. Preliminary went to Devin Moran, and then the 70 lap, 50,000 to win finale. I went to Jonathan Davenport, so the 100 Pittsburgher 100. So good for Jonathan Davenport picking up the win out in Pennsylvania there. We got a High Limit Series. They're going to be back racing here soon at Lakeside. That's this weekend as well. I saw somebody earlier put in my chat over here. Yes, rest in peace to the legend Bobby Allen. Bobby Allen passed away. Let's see. Honestly, I think it was just a couple days ago. On Sunday. So Hall of Fame, National Sprint Car Hall of Famer, and the Shark Racing owner, Bobby Allen. We've all seen the car. That shark looking car. I got the stats here. This is actually pretty cool. 30 victories in the World of Outlaws series. 1990 Knoxville National winner. With Logan Schuchart and Jacob Allen of recent. But yeah. So rest in peace to Bobby Allen. Sprint car legend there. 81 years old. But definitely a racing legend there. I have to watch Alabama Dirt. All right, Wally, no problem. I will. You're on your way. You're going to be going to Mahaney Valley Speedway for the fall brawl. Yes, and you beat me to it, Clay. So we have I had it in my notes. World of Outlaws will be at New Egypt Speedway on Friday. So you have the World of Outlaws sprint cars returning to New Egypt Speedway since first time since 2013. I believe Darren Pittman was the last one to win that show. So if you're looking for some sprint car racing in the Jersey area, head to New Egypt. I know a couple people that are going to be going there. The USAC 360, the USAC East Coast, the 360 wingless USAC 360s, they will be joining the card at New Egypt Speedway, so you can watch them as well. So you get some winged and wingless sprint car racing at New Egypt on Friday night. So that'd be pretty cool. Wayne, no. It was not Schilling. It was I know why you thought it was Schilling, but it was another number 20. It was Cole Stengel. I don't know why I couldn't think for a second. Cole unfortunately got into Mike as he was lapping him. But it was a 20 car. That's why there's probably some confusion here. I think it would have been a little bit more I don't think Mike would. Mike obviously wasn't happy, regardless, but I think he would have been a little more upset. Him and Mr. Schilling have had some. I believe they've had some dust ups this year, and wouldn't have been as calm about that. But no, it was Cole Stengel, and not nothing. Cole didn't really, like I said, I don't know what they were saying on the radio. If they were saying, lap cars, hold your line, or they told him to stay low. If they really didn't say anything, he just came up the track a little bit, and he didn't know. He didn't know, if they were going to be, if he was, Mike was coming with a head of steam on the top, and it's just the way it goes. He just moved up a little bit, and Mike was there. Just sucks because Mike had a good car. It was running well. No, it was, yeah. Yep. Six Pack is a great racing movie with both dirt, track, and asphalt. There you go. Yep, Six Pack. Another vote. Another vote for Six Pack. I'm not going to put that comment up. But you might be right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't think Mike would have been as calm about that one. Yes, he was. From what I gathered, he seemed like he figured he had a top three pretty much. He was looking at a top three. Yeah, Williamson just had it figured out. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. You never know. That's the thing. He was the only one on the top. Who knows if any other cautions would have fallen differently, and if he could have kept rolling top and no one else went up there, he might have been able to pull it off. You never know. But we'll never know, unfortunately. Not a problem, Wayne. You got it. Marilyn saying the Richard Petty story. Okay, that's a good one. Hey, listen, documentaries count. Documentaries count. So there we go. Richard Petty story. All right. That absolutely counts. And thank you again, Clay, for the reminder about the Outlaws and the USAC guys. I had it in my notes. I probably would have just looked right past it, though. But thank you, Clay. Appreciate that. Just want to make sure I get that out there. Joe is asking, how much does it cost to race at Oswego in the crate division? Can you use the motor from New Egypt to race up there? I imagine you could. I don't think. Listen, I think you'd probably that would be a phone call for a dirt car official. I don't know if you have to have dirt car seals, or if they honor Bridgeport, New Egypt, the surrounding racetracks that run crates. I don't know if they honor them, or if you have to maybe do some more tech. Maybe you have to be teched a little bit more. I can't really see why they wouldn't. I could get it. I would. But at the same time, also sitting here, I could see where, they might be dicks about it and be like, nope, has to be dirt car sealed. So, but I also imagine, like, if you said, hey, I'm coming with a New Egypt sealed motor, they might just say, okay, well, you have to maybe do early tech, and we have to cam doctor it, or we have to pull, do a couple other things to check. But if not, then you're buying a new motor, and you have to have it dirt car sealed, which I don't know if you have to buy it direct from somebody that's a dirt car motor dealer that would seal it first. Mac here is saying it has to be dirt car sealed for dirt car events. So I guess maybe So if you wanted to, I guess you could send it. I believe you'd be able to just send it to somebody who is a dirt car approved dealer that could seal it. So you would have to pull your motor out, take it to get sealed. Like I don't think you have to get a whole new motor. So you would just have to take it to somebody who does the dirt car seal. So it would have to have the seals on it. So you could have multiple seals on a motor. It'd be dirt car sealed and New Egypt sealed and Bridgeport sealed and all that. So you would just have to get it sealed from a dirt car person, which I think they can set it. You can set that up, if I'm not mistaken. But it's a lot of money, regardless. So if you did that, there's, I don't know, that's probably $1,000, probably to get it sealed. And then you got to buy Hoosiers for the whole weekend. I don't know what the tire wear is like at Oswego, especially for a crate car. I imagine you're going to go through a few sets of tires. So you got to buy, so if you're from down here and you're running American Racers, so you got to buy all the Hoosiers. So it's just tires. I don't know if they have a fuel rule, so you probably have to buy a bunch of fuel from them as well. So you got to get all the fuel, tires, got your motor sealed. I mean, it's not as bad. It's not like it was for Syracuse where you had to have you had to have different wheels. The car had to be perfect because any imperfection, the thing was just going to rattle apart. So you had to get a new body. Pretty much had to have a new motor. There's plenty of guys that went there with motors they ran all year, but there was a lot of crate guys that would just buy a motor for Syracuse and then go race one race on it. But you had a new body, wheels and tires. Right. So it has to be VP fuel. Yeah, so you have to buy their fuel, buy Hoosiers, and make sure your motor's sealed. So honestly, I mean, if you had a couple grand, I don't know, what are we talking? Probably maybe. Yeah, and then you got to buy all your pit passes and somewhere to stay and all that stuff. So it's a decent trip the whole way around. Hey, George, like I say, hey, I didn't start thinking about, where you got to stay and all that. But yeah, I mean, if you have a couple people with you too, I mean, there's a couple $100 each night. Yeah. So 8 to 10K. You're thinking 15? You're thinking 15? Just for one weekend? You think that much? For the lodging and all that stuff too included? I could do it for less. I could do it for less than the 8. I can do it for like 4. Not saying we're going to be competitive, but we're going to do it. Not saying we're going to run well, but we're going to be there. Just throw me some used Hoosiers. I'll buy the fuel. We'll sleep in the truck. Yeah, I know the 15K is not for just lodging. I know. Right. I know. I'm just messing with everybody. Yeah, we can go. Listen, I'm just saying we can go and have a great time. Let's get like four, maybe $5,000 together. We'll buy one good set of Hoosiers, and that's if we make. That's just in case we make the feature. But the rest of the week, running on used stuff, used decent stuff. Like I said, I mean, and that's just, I'm thinking it's going to cost a little bit to get the motor sealed. Like I said, we'll sleep in the truck. We'll be fine. Or we'll find somebody, we'll find a buddy with a camper. We'll kind of spread everybody out. You sleep in this person's camper. You sleep in this person's hotel. This couch. We'll be fine. We'll make it work. Or we'll just set up a tent right outside the trailer, right next to the trailer. We'll sleep in the trailer, A couple sleeping bags, a heater. Doesn't look like it'll be too cold up there. Looks like it'll be cold, but not too cold. Probably get cold at night. That's where you just cuddle up together, right? That's it. Yes. Listen, race car can be pretty comfortable. I've taken a couple pretty good naps between waiting for heat races to get going on the backstretch of New Egypt. I've taken a couple good naps in my racing seat. Just saying. Because you just kind of get nestled up in there, especially the full containment seats. You can really get your head rest kind of tucked in there. The Hans kind of tucked into one spot. It's like, out. And you got your alarm, they're right in your ear. They'll wake you right up. Time to go. Speak of Mike Butler, howdy, Pilgrim. What's up, buddy? I'm just saying, I could go, and that's all I'm saying. We can go and have a good time for a lot less money. But yeah, obviously, if you want to be competitive, way more money. All right, I'm just sitting here rambling on now. I don't know anybody. I don't think anybody is. If I'm being, I don't know of anybody that is. I don't know of anybody from New Egypt that is. Maybe doing some satellite shows, but not Oswego. That's right. Old Milwaukee and pot of meat. There you go. Exactly, dude. Yeah. Me too. I'll see you there next year. Yeah, Mike. Listen, I was talking about us going to Afton Friday. That's what I was talking about. Mike Butler in the Facebook chat, guys. We're going to Afton on Friday. That's what I was talking about. Yeah, I don't know. Dave seems like he doesn't want to do Oswego again. But maybe he told you something different. Didn't seem like he was too into it when I said something to him about it. Next year, we'll do it. You do it the expensive way. I'll do it the super cheap way. We'll see who has more fun. You spend all the money and go out and try to win it, and I'll spend a couple grand and just go there for a good time. I mean, listen, that sometime in the future that could happen. It could be next year. You never know. I just think he needs, Billy just needs, sponsor stuff to kind of go the right way. But you never know. That could, I mean, he made a couple New York shows and stuff this year. I think he just needs, maybe an opportunity in a ride, or some, like I said, some sponsor money comes in at the right spot, and he'll definitely do it. Not this year. Yeah, I know, Mike. I wasn't saying this year. I'm saying next year. Right. That's what I'm saying. No, you have to do it the luxury way. That's what we have to compare who had a better time. You have to do it like you have to go hotel and put everybody up in a hotel and spend a bunch of money on tires and all this spend like 10 grand and then I'm gonna spend like two or 3 grand. We're gonna see who has a better time. It'd just be funny if I didn't make the if you didn't make the race and I did, it'd be funny. It's a joke. It's a joke, buddy. All right. If I go to Dirt Week, it would be to help out my little cousin, so I could throw. There you go. That's it. Well, yeah, that was the only way you went to Syracuse was, you just slept on an air mattress in somebody's trailer. Right? That's what I hear. I don't know. I didn't go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're approaching the hour mark. We're approaching the hour mark here. Let's listen. Enjoy. If you're going to Super Dirt Week, if you're going to Oswego, enjoy it. Have a great time. And all the racing that comes with it, all the good times that comes with it. Hopefully it's a great week and weekend of racing up there for everybody. If you're going to be going to Afton or some of the other races, if you're going to New Egypt for the Outlaw Show on Friday, have fun doing that. If you're going to Afton and you're going to be there Friday, come say hi to me and Mike Butler at the short load car. Come say hi. Make fun of me. Or wherever you're going this weekend to watch some racing, have a great time. Just support the racetracks. If you can't go there in person, everybody seems to be doing the live stream thing now, so you can hop on a live stream and support it that way and watch. That's probably what I'm going to be doing for Oswego. So make sure you do that and support the racetracks and support the races as best you can. Again, Mike Mahaney at Oswego for Super Dirt Week. Billy Pauch Jr. will be at Afton or I-88 for Saturday for the modifieds up there. So there you go with that. Merch. Guys, check out Billy Pauch Jr. and BP3. Their merch on the Bob Hilbert Sportswear website. You can get Mike Mahaney and his merch. If you can see him in person at Oswego, you can get it there. Or you can go to MikeMahaneyRacing.com and get the merch there. Dirt Track Untold merch on the Dirt Track Untold website. You can pick it up there. I'm going to put the Patreon QR code back up one more time if you want to join Club TTU. Early access to content, merch, more content from the team on like race day and stuff. Pretty cool stuff going on there. You get the podcast earlier. So tomorrow, Mandee's podcast, the Dirt Track Confessions podcast, will drop every Tuesday at 5 p.m. So you get early access to that. Sorry, I'm not wearing any merch. I'm wearing Cletus merch because it was the only racing shirt I could find that was clean for this week. I got to do laundry. Just being honest. So there's that. The sprints at Syracuse. I mean, listen, Billy Pauch Sr. is he's got the fastest sprint car. And that was at Syracuse, right? Wayne, headed to Oswego. Thank you for joining us. Yep, go Team 35. Guys, thank you everybody for joining tonight. I appreciate the support. We'll be back here next Monday. Hopefully we get to talk about some great stuff happening from this upcoming weekend between Afton and Oswego and all the other racing that went on. So I'll see you here next week, same time, Monday Night Live. Again, thank you guys. Don't forget to support your local racetracks. Support all the local racing you can. Thank you again. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you next week.